The market is at a major level, and this week will be one of the most volatile weeks that we've seen in a while. And that's because we have some gigantic earnings set to release. In this video, we're going to go over everything you need to know for this week, some great stocks for the next couple days, some big news you won't want to miss, and at the end of today's video, we have a $3.2 million options trade with calls on one specific stock. You're not going to want to miss it, and this stock is also reporting earnings this week, so stick with us towards the end. We're going to see some crazy moves throughout the week, but let's get right into it, Tom.
Yeah, Mike, on Friday, we actually saw a very nice pop and recovery out of the stock market. So the SPY on Thursday was actually selling off all the way down to lows on pre-market Friday, but we ended up getting a very nice turnaround and stocks ended up breaking out all the way up to the high of the week, Mike, up around 375.60 there at the very top. But it was really good to see a recovery, Mike, out of the SPY, and we saw recoveries out of a lot of stocks in the market. Looking at my watch list here, I see Chewy had a great day on Friday. Even some of these, I guess you could say COVID stocks like Moderna and Pfizer even started doing quite well. And we saw banks like JP Morgan, Bank of America, and even clean energy plays like Rivian pop off. So really good, Mike. A lot of good momentum coming in. And the SPY, we saw a very good breakout with all the way up to that high of the week. So maybe we'll see a nice jump up on Monday or Tuesday, Mike. I know that there is going to be some pretty big events coming up this week, though, especially later on in the week. We're going to have the interest rate decision with the European Central Bank on Thursday, and that's almost going to be like an FOMC event for us. So we're going to have to see how they come out with their interest rates and if they end up hiking them quite a bit, which honestly, I'd probably guess they would given the climate right now.
Absolutely. So you mentioned a couple economic events. What else do we need to know?
Yeah, so we do also have new home sales for September on 10 a.m. Eastern time Wednesday. But other than that, the big thing is just that interest rate decision on Thursday. And then I see on Friday, we actually have personal income and personal spending numbers, which to me is going to be very important right now to see how personal spending has been. I know obviously people are going to change their spending habits with inflation being so high. So hopefully we see those come in well also. But if it ends up being worse, then it might show that spending could be bad heading into the holidays, which might be a bad sign, but I think it might be okay, Mike. I think people have been holding up fairly well, and I've seen pretty good numbers coming out from the banks recently, at least.
Awesome. So now I want to talk more about why this week will be so crazy, and we have to talk about earnings. So far, earnings season has been pretty good, but looking at this week's lineup, honestly, it does not get better than this. You have Apple, Amazon, Meta, Microsoft, Google. The list goes on and on and on. Like, you look at this earnings calendar and you recognize almost all of these names. We have some of like the most influential stocks in the entire market set to report this week. And with earnings comes some huge moves. And with huge moves comes volatility, and it just moves the market overall. So I'm just speechless, Tom. It's going to be a crazy week.
Yeah, and there's so many of my favorites mixed in here. I know we have the big ones like Apple, Coca-Cola, Microsoft, Google, but then there's even some of my other favorites mixed in here. We have Intel reporting, Kraft Heinz, Visa, Enphase, going down the list, even Altria reports here, Gilead, T-Mobile, US Steel or X, which I know a lot of people have been looking at. And then Friday, we have the oil stocks reporting. So it's going to be insane, like you said, Mike. A lot of huge stocks are reporting. And last week we did actually see a few stocks report. I know obviously Tesla was one of the big ones, Mike. They ended up falling down a little bit, but they did recover back up, which is cool to see. I know that so far the earnings have been pretty mixed, but I will say the season has been going a lot better than I thought it would go. I thought maybe we'd see a lot of bad spending numbers. A lot of companies would end up losing out on revenue and stuff like that, but some are doing better than others, Mike, which does make me pretty happy. Although I will say that Snapchat, those Snapchat earnings definitely have me scared for Meta this week, though.
Yeah, but at least Netflix did really good. You know, Netflix is soaring, and they just had an awesome day on Friday, too. So it definitely gives me some hope heading into this week. Tom, if you had to pick one stock for your favorite earnings release, what would it be?
Oh, that is a tough one. There is so many here on the watch list today. But looking through everything, Mike, I would say that personally, my favorite one to watch is going to be Spotify. I know that might be a bit of an outlier on the chart here, but looking at Spotify's stock, especially on a daily chart, you can see how low they've been and how close to, well, I guess you could say almost all-time lows now at $80 a share. So hopefully they can start to recover back, Mike. It's been a long time since they've had any positivity. And considering Netflix did okay, hopefully Spotify can do a little bit better as well. I know they're not necessarily the same sector, but Spotify does deal with, content creation and stuff like that. So hopefully we see him pop up, Mike. Like I said, almost at all-time lows right now. That's pretty insane to say.
My favorite for this week is hands down Meta. It reports Wednesday after close. And this company, they've been doing a lot of reinvesting, a lot of investing into the metaverse and virtual reality and all that good stuff. But this company is a powerhouse in terms of fundamentals, right? They just print money, very profitable. They have a lot of cash on the sidelines. They're below their COVID low, Tom. And then on top of that, they're bouncing off of a gigantic support right around 125, which ended up being support back in 2018. This stock has highs of around 384. It's done nothing but just fall for a year straight. Like I said, they're a powerhouse in terms of like fundamentals, and they're at this key support level right around 125. So it's do or die for them.
Yeah, it definitely is. And like I said, those Snapchat earnings definitely have me a little bit worried about Meta heading into that event, considering that a lot of these companies that deal with ads recently have been dropping because of those earnings. So I don't know. Obviously, Meta could turn it around, though. But looking at Snap, it's definitely not a good thing to see those other companies that deal with ads doing worse. So hopefully, Meta / Facebook can post a turnaround, Mike. I'm a shareholder of them, so I don't mean to be too bleak about them, but I'm hoping they can move up off of these lows as well. Like you said, that support has been huge, and when you go back on that daily chart, I mean, you can just count the bounces, guys, like 1, 2, 3, 4. I mean, there's been so many bounces at this key level. It's been pretty good at holding up here. And like we said, Mike, Meta is a powerhouse, and they've been reinvesting a lot of money. So even if they don't go up necessarily on this earnings report, I still love them for the long term.
Oh, me too. And I am feeling optimistic about this earnings report, but again, earnings is earnings, so we'll see what happens. But I'm very excited for this week overall. And some of my favorite setups for the short term heading into this week is actually Corsair. So Corsair is the first one. Corsair is a growth stock that just took a beating over the past year, like all stocks have been. What I like about the setup with Corsair is that they are bouncing off of a major support right at $11. It has some good moves, but this stock isn't one to be up 15% in a day. I've noticed that Corsair's moves normally happen over the course of a couple days or a couple weeks, which is a good thing in my opinion. It's a good trending stock. It's at support. It's holding up in a good way. And I like the risk reward ratio right now for an upside play. It's definitely on my watch list, and I think it has potential.
Yeah, I like it. It's kind of quadruple bottoming down here around $11. Looks like it's holding up pretty well. And if we continue to see all these growth stocks / tech stocks recover up, especially off of that great momentum we had on Friday, Corsair will definitely be a good stock this week. So good call out, Mike. I think that's a pretty good one there. And there is a pretty good resistance around 1260 that you could maybe play a good breakout with Monday if you wanted. But another big stock that I'm looking at, Mike, is going to be some of these energy plays. Now, I know some of these have earnings coming up this week, but I wanted to point them out because they are back on the uptrend. And on Friday, they started really breaking out. So ZOM had a nice move, which I'll be watching along with Oxy. But looking at Oxy, Mike, it has a nice double top here right around $72. If we could end up breaking that, I think Oxy could maybe start to retest some of these highs from this year up around 75. So watch out for that breakout. These oil plays are going crazy. And honestly, I hope oil prices start to fall down eventually. But it seems like the way OPEC and everyone's going right now, they're trying to push prices up.
True. Another stock I was watching is WBD. So this stock is trading at a great valuation in terms of fundamentals, but it's also having some pretty solid moves. So what's it is also actually another thing about this setup is that it's actually holding up a lot better than other stocks, especially recently. So there have been multiple times over the past couple weeks where we'll see the stock market down or we'll see other stocks selling off, and WBD actually holds up very strong on those days, and sometimes actually like gets close to breaking out on those types of days. So I like this setup for multiple reasons. One, it's trading at a good valuation in terms of fundamentals. Two, it's showing some good movement in terms of short-term trading. It's showing like strength relative to other stocks right now, and it's at a pretty solid support right around $12. So I like it, and I think it has potential.
Yeah, it's been very strong the past year, Mike, or I should say the past month, my bad. But yeah, the past month, it's been very strong off this bottom support. I really like that double bottom right around $11.20. And one thing that I really like, Mike, about this setup is that whenever you're looking at the chart here, you can see how we had that first touch of the bottom down around 11.20. Then we had that second touch. But my favorite thing is just how much buyers came in on that big candle on October 13th. That was such a big candle there at support, and so many buyers rushed into this stock. It had a huge uptrend that day. So that really shows me that that support is pretty good down there, and that buyers are buying up a WBD at that $11.20 to $11.25 area. So I'm definitely going to be watching this one, Mike. I really like that support. It's one of my favorite plays for a breakout this week. So thanks for pointing that one out there. But another one that I'm still watching, Mike, I hate to be back into the semiconductors again, because I know I'm always talking about AMD and NVIDIA, kind of like how you love Intel, but NVIDIA here is very low, 2.23%. It had a very good day on Friday. I think that if we do see a pop out of tech this week and the S&P 500, NVIDIA has a very good chance to come up. It's not showing as much strength as other stocks are, but I will say that's a pretty good past couple weeks, and especially around market open, you can see this one sometimes has huge, crazy volatile moves. So watch it for a potential breakout. I think it can be good, and I even like this one for the long term, Mike. I know they might be a little bit overvalued, but then again, they are one of the only GPU makers out there.
For sure. All right, Tom. Well, let's get right into the momentum plays for tomorrow. With the first one, we have Chewy to the upside.
CHWY, and look at how strong this one's actually been on the daily chart as well recently. But go ahead and make them break above that high of Friday, right around 37.50.
Sounds great. With the next one, we have Bank of America also to the upside.
Yeah, these banks are really starting to get up there now. I should have called this out as one of my favorite plays, Mike, but go ahead and make them break out above $35. Even if they break that in pre-market, then look at 35.35.
Sounds great. With the next one, we have GLD also to the upside.
Yeah, it's nice to see gold finally recovering up, and it's even better to see the dollar moving down, but go ahead and make GLD break out above 154.50.
There we go. So we are watching GLD, BAC, and CHWY for potential day trades to the upside tomorrow, only if they break above the levels Tom listed. These three stocks had a lot of great momentum on Friday, so definitely keep them on your radar. But we also want to cover the bot's amazing play from Friday with GLD. So our bot has been absolutely on fire lately. It called out the GLD 153 strike calls at $147 each. Later in the day, they popped all the way up to $219 each. If you are looking for daily options alerts, check out that first link in the description and the comments down below. Our bot has been on fire lately. So if you're looking to capitalize off of this volatility, now is the time. You get access to daily options, day trades, swing trades, custom bots you won't find anywhere else, a private community. You can chat with Tom and myself all day long. In the worst case scenario, you can cancel at any time. No questions asked. We also have an automatic discount code running. So if you sign up, you'll save $41 automatically for your first month. So definitely check it out. It is absolutely awesome. Tom, I'm very excited for this week. I know there's going to be a bunch of great moves. Do you have anything else you want to talk about?
Yeah, I guess I'll just throw up the earnings calendar one more time. If you guys are interested, just take a screenshot in that. But we have a lot of big stocks reporting. We have big tech stocks like Apple, Microsoft, and we have even some of these, I guess you could say restaurant stocks like McDonald's. Then we have MasterCard and Visa, even some of the airlines like Southwest. So it's going to be a crazy week, Mike. Like I said, I'm going to really watch Spotify, but honestly, I'm looking at all of these. There's going to be so many reporting. Honestly, it's going to be kind of crazy, Mike. We're going to wake up on Wednesday morning and see 5 different reports that happened that morning. So be ready for the volatility, guys. It can definitely, in my opinion, change the direction of the market. But right now, it's pointing up, looking good. And that volatility on SPY Friday at least was pointing back to the upside. And I love this double top up here. If we start to see a good breakout, who knows? We might be back on a good uptrend here, Mike. And I really like that video you put out a couple weeks ago going over the 200 SMA and how many companies are over that right now. And it's very interesting to see that once that statistic got low, the market starts popping up again.
Very true. Another thing that we cannot forget about, Tom, is the $3.2 million options trade that I saw from Friday. This is with Meta, and it is the 120 strike calls for January 20th of 2023. This looks like a very bullish trade. It's a call trade. It's buying to, or we know it's an opening trade. It looks like they're buying to open it. It makes sense. You know, it's an in-the-money play. It looks like a very bullish play. So long story short, if you guys don't understand options, we have some hedge fund betting that Meta's going to go up. And that's what it looks like. So keep it on your radar. It's $3.2 million just into the calls. Meta's at a solid level. They have earnings coming up. We all know how earnings are pretty crazy. But, you know, it's at a good level, you know, so I don't think it's a bad trade.
Yeah, I don't either. It could definitely be a pretty good I don't want to say gamble here with earnings this week because they obviously have options going out to January, so they might hold it a little bit longer, but it's definitely going to be crazy this week with earnings, Mike. Hopefully it moves up. I hate to say that about Snapchat going down and how that drug Meta down, but Meta could obviously change the game here. So let's see, guys. Hopefully they make some good reports and maybe we'll finally get some good breakouts, Mike. Like I said, I'm a long-term holder of Meta, so if we move up with earnings, I'll be extremely happy.
Same here. And guys, if you like our content, make sure to subscribe. We post brand new videos every single day, and we're going to continue to showcase these crazy hedge fund style trades and just solid plays. So make sure to subscribe if you are not already. And we also want to give a giant shout out to today's member of the day in the Stocked Up Discord, Mr. Toes. So he had a pretty good post in the Profits channel on Friday. He did pretty good. He had like a 35% profit for the day, and it looks like he made bank with some SPY plays. So awesome job, Mr. Toes. Keep it up. If you guys are not in the Stocked Up Discord chat already, check out the link for that in the description below. It's completely free, so join up. Besides that, I'm very excited for the rest of this week. We're going to see some awesome opportunities and some great moves. So let us know your favorite stocks in the comments down below, and let's have an amazing week.